Pittsburgh, first caller. Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Ms. Gorman, I wonder if you could tell me what recourse do the American people have left to them, short of revolution, to bring our government in check? We're threatening to name Iran's military guard a terrorist state, but we have been supporting a terrorist state, Israel, for 60 years. We give them money, we give them weapons, we stand aside as they level an entire country. We allow them to commit human rights abuses against the Palestinian Arabs. What can the American people do? Is revolt the only thing that we have left? You're taking away, you're tapping our telephones, you're listening to our conversations. All of our emails are routed through Israeli-owned companies.
Well, that's actually one of probably the core issue that's involved in the hearing that we're going to see unfold later today. In fact, the lawyers for that are pressing this case against AT&T in particular have basically said that if the government is able to quash these NSA surveillance cases based on their argument that moving forward at all will violate state secrets, then basically they've argued that the people don't have any sort of recourse, and that is a strong argument that they're making for why these cases should at least proceed to trial and actually, move forward with arguments rather than a lot of these procedural hearings that you've seen so far.
You and also Dan Egan of the Washington Post have been writing about this room in San Francisco. AT&T doesn't even confirm that they have such a room. Correct. What happens there?
Well, it's not clear what happens there, but it appears from the documents that have been presented in the case so far, and experts analysis, that these are rooms where fiber optic cables are basically split or duplicated. If you think about it in terms of, if you order cable and you want to get cable reception both in your living room and in your bedroom, then you will split off that cable and it will duplicate it so that you can see it in both places. And essentially what these documents appear to show is that those fiber optic cables, which have technically been proven rather difficult to tap into or to copy, are sort of being routed into this splitter in this secret room where the information is basically copied and funneled off in a direction, and perhaps also run through what is known as a Naris machine, which basically sorts out information. It can do sort of the equivalent of very high-powered kind of keyword searches at very high speeds of information, sort of traveling through and kind of sorting little bits of information in theory into baskets that are deemed threat or not threat, and sort of funneling along from there. And
then on the other side, in a phrase, you have the federal government who says this is a state secret. This is a national security issue.
Right.
How do the plaintiffs respond to that?
Well, they say that this program, the terrorist surveillance program, has already been, much discussed in the public and acknowledged by the president. And they basically say that there is enough evidence out in the open to proceed with the case, that you don't necessarily need to have a lot of additional discovery. The government says no, there's no way that we could possibly defend ourselves without revealing more information, and we can't do that without harming national security.